Ironheart premiered and nobody showed up. That's a brutal reality check for the show. Now, Marvel put out 3 episodes of this Ironheart disaster on Disney Plus, gave it movie length runtime, and still couldn't get it on the Luminate charts. Okay, so Disney tried to give Ironheart a big push, but the audience didn't care. Okay, so now Ironheart is already being ignored, and both Marvel and Disney are stuck trying to explain why no one is watching. Okay, so Luminate, as you all know, the Luminate streaming charts, that's the week-to-week industry tracker. Okay, it's quicker than Nielsen and usually a decent preview of what's coming in delayed ratings. But Marvel's Ironheart didn't even show up, as you all can see. And look at the dates too, June 20th to 26th. Disney dumped 4 episodes out the gate on Disney Plus. Nothing. The first major indicator of how this series would perform just confirmed what everyone already expected. It's simply just a complete failure. Okay, now the numbers for the June 20th to 26th are out, as you all saw. That's the first chart where Ironheart could have landed after release, and it's not there. Not even a whisper, not even at the bottom. Meanwhile, shows that haven't had a new episode in weeks are still holding their top spots. Or their spots, I mean. Moblands is in there still strong on Paramount Plus despite being on hiatus, but Disney pushed out 3 episodes of Ironheart and the audience didn't even show up. Now, Marvel is facing one of its most embarrassing disasters yet, and they can't even get a courtesy appearance in ratings and rankings anymore. Okay, now Ironheart wasn't competing against some massive surprise hit like with Netflix, Peacock, and even Paramount Plus are there with shows that basically had nowhere near the promotional budget Disney has spent on this Marvel mess. Okay. And honestly, it didn't help that Ironheart's debut had more content up front, almost 2.5 hours worth. Okay, now that's a full movie length right there for the usual Marvel in theaters. And Disney tried to inflate the watch time by throwing 3 episodes at once. Well, it didn't work. The audience still skipped, and guess what? People chose reruns over a new Marvel series, okay? And that's how far the brand has fallen itself, but that's no surprise. And this is not a normal dip in viewership either. You see, this is a full-on collapse. And we're not talking about slipping from 2nd place to 6th. We're talking about Marvel's Ironheart not even cracking the list right after all. I mean, that's after Disney's usual marketing tricks and stuff, simply pushing clips, pushing representation, hyping it as part of the next MCU phase and stuff, and none of it moved the needle. Okay, now if Ironheart was just below the top 10, I mean, it would have been visible. It wasn't. That means it's somewhere below shows that haven't aired in weeks, and the damage to the brand is obvious now, okay? And that's no surprise right there. Heck, Kevin Feige's leadership is simply turning into another cautionary tale. Now, the MCU used to be a guaranteed hit maker, as you all know, back then from the late 2000s and stuff. And now, with Ironheart is a ghost in the ratings. Not even a week debut, just invisible, okay? And even Daredevil Born Again, which many call, disappointment, had over 300 million minutes watched in its first few days. Now, Ironheart couldn't even pull those particular numbers with 3 episodes on launch, okay? And that's what Disney has done to Marvel right now. They've simply burned the goodwill, okay? Now, honestly, people tuned out and they're not coming back anytime soon, okay? But if you look at what it means from a business standpoint. If you're a Disney investor, this should be terrifying, okay? You can't spend this, and Ironheart from Marvel is a no-show on its first available performance metric. Okay, they didn't hold episodes back. They didn't launch on a holiday. They simply pushed 3 out at once and still got skipped. Okay, now honestly, that's just worse than a failure. Okay, that's just basically irrelevance right there. If nobody even cares enough to hate watch it, then the series has no momentum. All right, and it doesn't matter how many times that Disney says, they're committed to diversity and progress. Either way, it's still going to have the same results. But the spin is coming, as you all know, and you've seen it before. We've all seen it before. Disney's going to release some vague press, statement claiming that 7 million viewers tuned in. And the mainstream media will run with it like it means something or stuff. But when you realize that's across, 3 episodes, maybe 5 minutes each, and you do the math, and like the Acolyte, another Marvel disaster in disguise and everything, had better numbers, okay? And that was already embarrassing. Now, Disney's PR machine will make noise, but the audience has already moved on. Now, Ironheart, as you all know, is just a case study in what happens when you simply stop caring about the story and start chasing hashtags. Matter of fact, the comic shouldn't have even been in existence, but Marvel used to mean something, and now it's the setup for the empty DEI projects that nobody watches. Even Marvel fans, the diehards, are skipping Ironheart, and that's how bad this has gotten. Now, it's not trolls or, quote, toxic fans sabotaging it. It's the average viewer quietly closing the app, and that's the real backlash right there. Now, Disney can't fix that with just another focus group or activist panel, okay? And that's no surprise right there. Now, every excuse has already been used. With the critics will say Ironheart is missing from the charts because Luminate uses a Friday to Thursday window, not Monday or Sunday. Doesn't matter. The math, it still works out right there. If it had days of availability, it had 3 full episodes, it had every opportunity to succeed, still nothing. Disney built the series to check boxes and run corporate diversity seminars, basically, but they forgot to make it entertaining. And now Marvel's paying the price in silence, okay? But the numbers still will get worse, as you all know. And it's the next week is coming this week when the Nielsen ratings catch up. Luminate's early data was their best shot at any traction. Once the official charts show the same result, there's no hiding behind delay tactics and stuff. Wait till Nielsen come out with their numbers. And Marvel needed Ironheart to work. They needed a win after Secret Invasion, She-Hulk, and even Echo. Instead, they got just another dud. And Disney's response? Well, pretend it didn't even happen. Try to bury it behind Deadpool or the Fantastic Four buzz. Well, like a Fantastic Four buzz is out there. But that won't stop the bleeding itself, okay? Now, Ironheart is everything wrong with the Disney model right now, okay? Overstimulation, identity first branding, no narrative. Wait, nobody asked for this series. Nobody was waiting for it either. And Disney even tried to force it into the Marvel timeline, but the audience rejected it just like they did with the comics. 3 episodes, movie length runtime, promoted everywhere, and the viewers still tuned out, okay? That's not a problem with content right there, that's just simply a trust problem. Now, people don't trust Marvel anymore, and it's plain to see. They don't trust Disney anymore, and you know what? This is the consequences to it all. But you'll see this trend repeat. Ironheart is just the latest casualty. If the viewership doesn't rebound fast, well, this is a dead series walking, okay? They already don't have, season 2 planned. The algorithm doesn't care about representation. It cares about eyes on screen. Disney is starting to learn that the hard way, okay? Now, the Marvel brand itself doesn't carry weight anymore, and Ironheart proves it, and the audience has already moved on. And guess what? No amount of reboots, reshoots, or reskins can actually fix that now. But simply put, Ironheart is not failing because of trolls and stuff. It's simply failing because even the people who should love it are ignoring it. And Marvel fans are done. They're skipping those empty projects already. And guess what? The silence is louder than any review bomb ever was. That's what Disney won't admit, okay? They thought, Ironheart would carry the brand forward, and it's actually dragging it deeper into a huge rabbit hole, okay? $1 billion studio can't even chart with these episodes on launch week, and you can already, picture the headlines right now. Ironheart is a hidden gem. Marvel takes bold risks. Disney champions diversity. But behind the fluff is the truth. If you put out 3 episodes of Ironheart and still can't show up on the top 10 chart, well, your project is dead. It's not early. It's not misunderstood. It's just unwanted. Nobody wants it. And Marvel can't even afford to make any more of these. You see, simply put, every flop out there is just going to keep flopping and stuff. And you know what? You can already picture the headlines, as I said, and Disney knows it. They've seen this pattern before. Y'all remember Willow and stuff, even though that's a Lucasfilm brand. Y'all remember Artemis Fowl? They pushed those hard too, and then they disappeared. Quiet cancellations, no fanfare. That's where Ironheart is basically heading. Now, it won't be renewed, I can tell you. It won't be remembered. It'll just be a trivia question in a few years. What Marvel show launched with 3 episodes weekly and still couldn't chart? That answer is going to be Ironheart for sure. A series that got every advantage and simply wasted it, okay? But honestly, Marvel can't course correct at this point. You see, the pipeline is full. Ironheart is a problem that's already baked into the timeline, okay? The only question is exactly how long they'll pretend is not happening, okay? But the audience is already responding loud and clear. They're skipping it. They're walking away. And Disney simply built Ironheart for a version of the audience that doesn't exist anymore. And the real viewers, they're just simply done waiting for Marvel to go ahead and figure it out. They've already moved on, and the charts prove it. So let me know your thoughts with this in the comments below. Be sure to smash that like button, share the video far wide across social media, subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell for future uploads notifications, and I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, peace.